We don't want to lose it.
Patton, like many here, also remembers the city's fight to save this landmark 2 decades ago when progress tried to replace history. As the flames died down, hope rekindled, signs that history would again win out.
It was stuck against the wall, so it's like a souvenir. I said, well, at least I can bring this out. I think we're going to save the Fox. We got the Fox saved.
Fire ravaged the Fox administrative offices and a good portion of the adjoining restaurant. Amazingly, though, the theater and ballrooms escaped with only minor smoke and water damage. Credit goes to the firefighters.
The fire department has been absolutely magnificent. They've done a super job. They've been on this. They've been fighting it tooth and nail and doing everything possible to save the facility.
Fire investigators say it may be a while before they determine what caused the blaze and whether it was accidental. What they do know at this point is that the fire started on the second floor above the Adams restaurant. In Midtown Atlanta, Tiffany Diaz, WGNX News.
I'm Luann Sedano here at the scene of the cleanup at the Fox Theater. Workers have been here mopping up all day and are expected to continue for hours. Now, the cleanup is expected to be completed by tomorrow because, after all, in the tradition of the theater, the show must go on. The marquee is dark now, but the bright lights are expected to be flashing tomorrow when inside the Fox Theater, the production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat will go on as scheduled.
Indeed, the Fox Theater is alive.
Alive and well, reassuring words from the general manager of the Fox Theater. He says while the theater's administrative offices were heavily damaged by the fire, the auditorium was spared.
No fire penetrated the firewalls into the theater proper, meaning the auditorium and the lobby areas.
Workers were vacuuming the seats, mopping the floor, and giving the huge theater a general spick and span shine. This theater was originally built as the Shriners' headquarters, then turned into a movie palace with opening day on Christmas 1929. It is a theater rich with history, a theater filled with memories.
From what I can tell, at least from the calls we've gotten, not only in Atlanta, but I've gotten calls from New York, Washington, D.C., all over the country, as a matter of fact, that this theater is near and dear to the hearts of a lot of people, not only in this community, but throughout our country.
Now, just moments ago, the owner of the restaurant here told me that fire investigators believe the fire began in an office at the Fox Theater. We will try to confirm that through fire investigators and bring you the latest tonight at 11. Reporting live from Midtown Atlanta, Luann Sedano, WGNX News.
Now then, thank goodness the damage is minimal. And now it's time to answer a burning question. How did the fire start? Good evening, I'm Steve Dawson.
And I'm Karen Greer. The curtain will go up tomorrow for opening night at the fabulous Fox Theater, despite a fire that poured smoke into the theater and destroyed an adjoining restaurant and office. Tonight, we have team coverage of today's near disaster, including important new information about how the fire started. Here's our first report. I don't care what you do, don't let it get into the Fox. Those words from the assistant fire chief on the scene just before 6 this morning. More than 100 firefighters fought to contain the blaze at Adams at the Fox, the restaurant right next to the Fox Theater. The restaurant was gutted and office space for the Fox was seriously damaged. Tonight, fire officials have some answers as to where the blaze began.
We have pretty much possibly ruled out it starting in the restaurant and that it started in the Fox area, the office areas behind the restaurant.
The theater was built in 1929 as a Masonic temple. It's been a movie palace and the site of numerous touring theatrical productions. The fabulous Fox, as some call it, was saved from the wrecking ball in the 1970s by a community campaign to buy and restore it. Joe Patton watched in disbelief this morning. Patton spent 30 years restoring and working on the theater's pipe organ. He escaped his apartment above the Fox with his keys and a flashlight.
All of this work that has been extended through the years, you have grave concern, and of course it's a National Historic Landmark, and we don't want to lose it.
Don't stay together now, okay?
Atlanta fire officials are being credited with saving the building, designated a National Historic Landmark in 1976. The theater and ballrooms escaped with only minor smoke and water damage. Along with firefighters' efforts, a fire wall kept the flames from invading the Fox. Restaurant owners plan to rebuild. They hope to be finished in time for the Summer Olympic Games.
You heard it earlier, the show will go on, but first there's a lot of cleaning up to do. Tonight, workers are trying to get things back in order before tomorrow night's show. And we continue our team coverage now with WGNX News reporter Luann Sedano, who joins us live from the Fox Theater with that part of the story. Luann?
Well, Steve, the final phase of the cleanup here at the Fox is set to get underway in about an hour. That will be the fumigating process. That is trying to eliminate the smoky smell from inside. After that, the theater should be ready for tomorrow's opening night, much to the relief of many people.
We rushed down here and with our hearts down in our stomachs.
The Fox Theater's general manager lived through some scary moments today when he heard one of Atlanta's prized possessions nearly went up in smoke. The Fox Theater is one of Atlanta's historic treasures. It is a theater that has become part of the National Historic Registry. The theater was originally built as a Shriners headquarters, but it was later turned into a movie palace opening Christmas Day, 1929. Throughout its history, the theater has had its ups and downs. Bankruptcy in 1932, a temporary shutdown in 1974, with the possibility of closing permanently. Amazingly, what some considered a white elephant survived. Not only history buffs, not only theater goers, but the community at large is grateful its landmark has survived yet again.
It is part of our heritage here in Atlanta.
The theater's ornate interior and showy presence has attracted generations for years.
My mother and I have seen the Nutcracker Suite there more than once. It's kind of a family tradition with us. And she just recently passed away, so it would be very important to me that it stays here.
My mom comes to town, and that's where I want to take her, and my girlfriend's parents are in town, and that's where we want to go see things, and, you know, it's culturally important.
The Fox Theater essentially today almost stands as the same emblem as the city's motto. You know, we're a phoenix rising out of the ashes.
No doubt an interesting choice of words tonight, given the potential of a dangerous situation here today. A truly dramatic turn of events for the Fox today, with a happy ending. Reporting live from Midtown, Luann Sedano, WGNX News.
All right, Luann, thank you. The fire ruined the Fox management's offices, but the general manager says he has already located temporary space in a nearby building.
As expected, Freaknik promoter Stephen Muhammad today filed an appeal.